We have a special treat this afternoon. GAIL Endelman is going to be presenting on some of her expertise on choice theory. GAIL is certified in choice theory from the William Glasser Institute. She's given presentations on choice theory and making great choices throughout the United States, in Australia, and Japan.
I didn't communicate. I learned a lesson. With children, you make sure you communicate to their families. Because while we were having lunch and they were waiting to show us in their bag, one of the families, the grandmother, came from far away the night before, met the neighbors, went to sleep. She woke up, she couldn't find her teeth. True story, because this little girl put those teeth in a bag and brought them to share. They even called the doctor to say, can you get Alzheimer's overnight, because she cannot find her teeth. It's true, and I never lived it down. So think about your words and what you're saying. One more example is when I retired, I was given this huge surprise party, and everybody came for my whole career. I was moving on, I was writing books, traveling, speaking. What are you going to do? I said, I'm off to see the world. So 2 years later, I went back to visit, and one of the boys, this little boy, Skylar, he came up and he goes, oh, I think of you all the time, all the time. You do? I think of you too, Skylar. I didn't know what to say, and I turned to the counselor next to me, I go, do you know why he thinks of me? No clue. Oh, Skylar, I'm so glad to see you. Why do you think of me all the time? Well, when I go to SeaWorld, I think you're working, and I look to see where you are. SeaWorld. So again, your words. So I have this exercise that we don't have enough time to do, but if some of you want to do it afterwards, we can. It's about seeing if your words really communicate to your spouse, significant other, or people you deal with. To see if you're communicating, giving directions, and if you're listening. And what it has, and I brought this through security on that airplane, but they took everything out of my suitcase because of it. Marshmallows, toothpicks, gumdrops. And this is when I gave a seminar in Japan. I had an interpreter, but you really didn't need words because these people went back to back, and the exercise you could do at home, or some of you might want to try it after. You have, put the little green gumdrop on a toothpick. Put the big marshmallow next to it. Well, back to back, not seeing visually, I almost never see them come out the same. But you think for sure that you perfectly explained what you do. So, what would I say? I was asked to speak at the Western Conference, the International Conference for Dr. Glasser. I was asked to introduce him. Oh my goodness, what do you say to introduce this world-famous man? So I thought about it. I couldn't even think. I mean, we know the theory, we know his thoughts, we know he's changed a lot of things. So in the middle of the night, I thought, I'll ask children I've worked with. Now these are all young adults that remember. But they came, weren't scared, just so definite in their explanation of how they make choices in their life. Each one of them made a project. This one talked about how the brain works, how we need to think. This one talked about not complaining so much, and listening and thinking. She talked about basic human needs. He talked about his quality world, which is Dr. Glasser's theory. She talked about making choices, and Brooke made a flower, and each petal had a choice that she wanted to make in life to make her a better person when she grows up. And this one pretty much is interesting. She said, this little Charlene that just graduated honors from Berkeley, do your homework or else. That's what teachers tell her, and she goes, it's not so exciting to learn when they say do your homework, make sure it's on time, make sure the heading is on the right hand and your name is here and there. She said, if a teacher would say, when you read this, you will discover something interesting and we can share it. She said, when somebody presents it in that way, then I'm curious and want to know what it's all about. So that was Charlene. And this was the star. Remember, these are all doctors in the room. I didn't know whether to look at the children speaking, Dr. Glasser, or the parents, because we were all so proud. This little Rochelle, she got up, she smeared lipstick on her face, eyeshadow, put her hair up to the moon. She got up there and she said, it doesn't matter how you look, it's how you feel inside, who you are, and how you relate to people. And she was the star of the whole show. That's her beauty equipment. Smeared all over. But she said it's inside, and think about who you are. So, this is kind of a funny story about communicating. I was on the Princess Diamond, and it was formal night. And there was a couple at my table from England that I did not know. This is my friend Claire, she was traveling with me. And he said, I know it's formal night, I know they're having all this special food, but I really want prawns. I've really been craving prawns. Do you think I can have them? It's your cruise, ask. So, called over the waiter, first the busboy or waiter's assistant. Can I get prawns? I'm really craving prawns. You know, prawns. Maybe. And they went over to the head waiter. They want prawns. We're thinking, maybe on formal night you don't ask for anything extra. And then the head waiter went to the matron, do they want prawns? And everybody looked at our table. I thought, maybe they think we're rude. Maybe we did something wrong. Well, what happened was they brought out the prawns. All the waiters watched. They brought them out, and this gentleman that I really didn't know except for my dinner partner there from England, he goes, Gail, what is it? What have you done? They brought prunes. Because they thought he said prunes. Communicate. And the reason the waiter and the head waiter and the maitre d' and everybody talked, they thought, maybe he has a stomach, maybe he has a problem, maybe he really needs prunes. And anyway, there he is. I wish I'd see them on another cruise. So think about communicating and how you say it. And balance. This is a big theory that I've worked with. We need balance in our life. We need a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So we're sitting in chairs. They have 4 legs balancing. If one leg's missing, or something's missing in something we do, then we're not quite so balanced. So, in order to survive and balance, the legs on the chair represent, we all want, most of us want, I think we all want, we want love and belonging, we want power, we want some freedom, and we want some fun. There's a chair. So there's a broken chair. Again, if you don't have these things in life, maybe you need to think about how to get them. So if I was doing a seminar, and you'll get a handout later, I would ask you to take time and turn to someone near you and discuss what in your life brings you love and belonging. And I know it's different for each of us. What in your life gives you power? Not to be like power dictator type, but power to feel good about where you go and what you do. And freedom, to be free and be an individual. And fun. We all need fun. I believe in fun. So here we go. These are the survival things. Think about love and belonging, power, freedom, and fun. So love and belonging, maybe it's the need for love. I don't need to tell you these things. Membership, maybe in a group, cooperating, sharing, relationships, and especially connecting with other people is important. So in practice, the most important need is love and belonging, as closeness and connectedness with the people we care about is a requisite for satisfying all of the needs. Power, again, be respected, get along with others, achieve success, feel good about yourself. That's probably the best thing for power. And freedom, to be able to make choices that we're so fortunate to make, and to be creative, maybe plan for the future, freedom in what you do. And fun. We don't have to explain fun. We're all having fun, I hope, and we all can have fun or initiate more fun. Laughter, amusement, enjoyment, playing, learning, hobbies, being happy. And then Dr. Glasser always said, imagine the world without fun. And we did a bubble festival, which is for scientists, how many combinations you can make bubbles. And we made all these potions and everything. And finally, somebody came up with a solution that filled a wading pool. And Dr. Glasser, who was with me for the day that loves fun, got in the wading pool, pulled up the hula hoop, so he was in a bubble looking out, seeing what is the world really like. So there's all kinds of things you can do. When we are both learning and having fun, we often look forward to hard work and long hours. Without fun, these can become drudgery. So there's always something to celebrate. Celebrate. Make a choice. Celebrate the ordinary. When adversity happens, maybe you can find something to celebrate, something good, and choose to celebrate. So I don't know if some of you read Margaret Brownlee. She's a noted author. Her favorite quote, she says, she wakes up every day expecting great things to happen, and that's why she always keeps a bottle of her favorite champagne or apple cider chilled. Whether it's the car repair bill was a little less than she expected, or whether the doctor gave better news than planned, she said we always can find the positive and something to celebrate. She keeps it in a refrigerator, a little bubbly, and she says she always knows no matter how bad something is, maybe it can be better. So there's popping the cork, thinking about celebrating. So also the thought about survival. We have physical needs. We do. We have food, water. I think we're getting enough of that on the ship. Shelter, security, and self-care. Survival. And all behavior is purposeful. It's our attempt at the meantime to use our knowledge and our skills to be the best we can be and to attain what we can attain. So here's some of the things for survival. To survive, to belong, the need to gain power, the need to be free, and the need to have fun. So, the creative process, there is no right only way. Usually there's creative way, your way, innovative way, and there is no right or wrong, it's what works for you. So, if you had a magic wand, if we all were given a magic wand today, what would it look like? We'd all see the magic wand differently. What would be different? What would we do different today? So we only control what we're thinking about and what's happening. There's the magic wand. I wish I could give everyone a magic wand. So the only person whose behavior you can control is really your own. You can give ideas, you can interact, but it's really you that makes your decisions. So I heard this quote when I was traveling, and it's my favorite. The only thing normal is the dial on the washing machine. I like that quote, except when we left town, ours is broken and we couldn't get a repairman out. So this really, the only thing is the washing machine is the normal dial. So there's an example of the dial on a washing machine. So again, all we can give each other also is information. Really and truly, you can't make someone do it, or you shouldn't make someone do it. Give them information, let them digest it, let them think about it, discuss it, dialogue. So here's a great quote. Some people come in your life as blessings. Some people come in your life as lessons. So I kind of like that from Mother Teresa. So making choices gives you the tools to a happier, more complete life. We're all making choices on this trip. And when my umbrella went inside out yesterday, I thought about this, that always bring your own sunshine. And we're all trying to put on our layers some of us didn't bring to try and be warmer. And there is no bad weather, only bad clothing. So tomorrow will be our coldest day. So think about that when you get ready tomorrow. No bad weather. I know people go, oh, I didn't bring enough, it's going to be too cold. Pile the clothes on, and it'll be a great day. I had these pictures, but yesterday my umbrella did go inside out. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Anybody else have an umbrella inside out yesterday? Yeah. So, what do you need to do to have quality in your life? This is like the most important component in the Glasser theory, is if you closed your eyes and thought of a movie about yourself, what would you think about? What is it you want to have quality? What is it you're expecting or thinking about for now, for the future, or to think about the quality you've had in the past? These are examples if you went to a movie theater and had a movie about you and what's important to you. So close your eyes. Again, if this was a seminar, we'd do a whole dialogue. Close your eyes. Think about what is it that you want in your life. You would think about what are your life, your goals. All right, open your eyes. Nobody closed them. Think about afterwards about what is it. Have some dialogue with the people you're traveling with, or when you get home about what really is most important for quality in your life. There's your movie screen. If you were to write down what's important to you, you would really give it some thought. So quality world is a small personal world which each person starts to create in his or her memory shortly after birth and continues to create and recreate throughout life. So maybe if you close your eyes and think about your movie or your quality life now, it's probably different than yesterday, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, or maybe tomorrow. So your quality life is like if you did a photograph book, it would be the things important in your life. Maybe you like gardening or cooking or movies or traveling, whatever is important to you. So this, if we were spending more time, I would ask you to think of random, maybe 8 things. Usually somebody really writes down family, love, health, the usual, and then they start branching out to other things. So after I talk, maybe think about with the people you're with about what is it that I really want? What is most important to me? So these are the things that usually come up. People want who they most want to be with, maybe is one of those squares in their quality world. The things that they want to do on their own or experience with others. And the ideas are systems of belief that govern most of their behavior, the principles they've been brought up with, where they live, how they live. So, Dr. Glasser said, all of us are aware we live in a world we can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, and we call it the real world, or reality. We are inclined to assume that it's the same world for all of us. Again, each of us sees this differently, from childhood to adulthood. Here's an example. How does a young child see things? Did you ever think about that? Maybe they see things differently from you. Maybe as they grow older, everything is changing. Their wants, their dreams, people they're with, and things that they do. So the quality world, if you ask a child or a grandchild, I've done that with children where they keep a log. It's kind of like some people send a holiday letter every year. I've had kids write a resume every year. If you want to do that with children you're with or grandchildren, it's a great thing. Resume, who they are, what do they represent now if they're applying for a job, what are their best traits, and then have them do that resume next year and next year. As that child grows up, it's amazing. It's like a log of their entire life. So, what is it I want? Some people, they say, oh, what is it I want? I don't know what I want. Sometimes you figure out what you want because you think about what you don't want. So that's another thing to think about. So, the real world is everyone and everything outside you, and inside you is your quality world. And your real world. It's almost like a recording. The brain stores your knowledge, your information, what you know, and what you choose to know or choose to record. So, in your real world, a lot of things are affected by the senses. We know our senses, your sight, your hearing, your taste, your touch, and your smell. They all affect pretty much everything we do every day. So, sometimes if your life's out of balance, think about what you can do to pull it in or to get some balance. Here's choices, what kind of car, what with wheels you would want, what you want, how much you'd spend, where you'd go. Here's the ads. So, all we do from birth to death is behave. All behavior is total behavior and is made up of 4 inseparable components: acting, thinking, feeling, and the physiology. So when you pick your car, maybe some of those are in your mind. And it's like an engine of a car. Your basic needs, what you need, and the steering wheel, how you're going to get there. So you have 4 wheels on the car. You're determining where you're going, how you're going to get there. Those are kind of your behavior wheels. They move the car. So, is your car getting of life what you want? Are you going where you want to go? Here's your car. The front wheels maybe will control, steer where you want to go. You're thinking and acting, you have your wants, you have your needs. It's just a visual example. Well, are your wheels spinning? Maybe you're not getting what you want to get. Maybe you need to think about it. So a lot of us make excuses. And sometimes excuses are like a roadblock. There's my roadblock. So you make choices and you go along. Are you making the right choices? Are they real choices? Are they believable? Are they possible? And if you hit a dead end road, possible, impossible, helping or hurting, put downs, painful, negative, poor choices, absolutes. All these affect your road. So it's like a plan. It's like a roadmap. A lot of us, we have maps where we're going tomorrow, where we're going on the voyage. In your mind, I think, and with the people you're with, is a map of how we're doing our journey. So, like a good roadmap, what road are you taking? We all chose to come on this ship. I think we made a good choice. So you have to think about your car, or in your mind, where are you going? What road are you taking? So sometimes instead of overcoming, or like the maniac in Los Angeles that practically drives you off the road, sometimes you go the other way, or you think about it quietly, and you think about consequences, and what works, and why, or what new direction you might take. So, how do you get what you want? We all have our behaviors, and these are the things that affect your behavior. So think about acting, how you act, thinking, how you think, feeling, how you feel, and physically, how you're responding. Is this good for you? Could it be different? So here again is the car. You're going to win the race. Are you racing there? Are you doing it the way you should? Is there a way you should? If you did it again, would you do it differently? Here's your car, the needs, your wants, and your behavior, like I said, what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're acting, and the physiology. Again, you never know what can happen. This is just a joke. Not a joke. It wasn't a joke. I got off the Princess Diamond, and they said, put your Azure tags on your suitcase, put it outside your door, and that's it. Okay, I was staying in Japan to do a seminar. I got to Japan. They took my suitcase upstairs. Nobody spoke English. Took a shower, opened the suitcase. I had all men's tuxedos.
Yeah.
Because somebody else on that diamond ship had the same Azure tags, and we got switched. So what do? It's in the middle of the night, because I'm in Japan and Dave's in LA. I call Dave and go, I have no clothes. He still doesn't appreciate that phone call in the middle of the night. But again, I could have freaked out. I didn't know what to do. The tuxedo was so big I couldn't even fake it. So anyway, and bow ties, I had everything. So it's funny because we live 40 minutes from Princess headquarters in Santa Clarita, and I have been there. So I called Princess, Santa Clarita from Japan. Oh yes, they said, we'll take care of it. So the man who had my suitcase got to the airport, and for some reason they didn't give him a go to go through. So Princess said, if you can get back to the dock with that suitcase before it sails at midnight, they'll do a switch. So $26, I paid this Japanese cab driver to get me to the dock. I think he'd think I did something awful because they took my suitcase and rolled another one down the gangplank. I gave him $26 more to take me back to the hotel. But the idea is I could have just gotten hysterical. I still had to give this talk. I could have found clothes if I had to, but it was just the ironic thing. I followed directions, something bad happened, and sometimes you have to just take a deep breath and think about it. So think about what you want, think about your behaviors, think about what you're doing. Include balance in your life. Remember to play. I'm not preaching, I'm just telling you these thoughts from Blaster Theory, and love to talk to you around the ship. And make a choice to laugh. That's always the best medicine, they say anyway. So we need to think about our lives. I was given a picture like this the first day I started working with kids. And I still have it, because they said no matter how bad something is, somehow you'll get through it, and it could turn out to be better. So baggage, we all have baggage, we all have our past, we all have our now. We probably all brought either too much baggage or the wrong baggage, or who knows what you have in that suitcase. So just pancakes. What if pancakes have anything? Same thing as the cookies. Think about next time you have pancakes. How do you make your pancakes? Do they make them here the same? What pan do you make in them? What kind of ingredients do you like in your pancakes? What do you like on them? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Pancakes. So I had another one of these children that was labeled, that didn't want to learn anything, and I'm trying to think of something creative. I said, go find out what you can about squirrels. It's totally awesome, something unusual. I didn't really think she'd find this. So what she found was that someplace in the world, there was a squirrel that some scientist noted that the squirrel tried to get a pancake and couldn't carry it, so he chewed a hole out around it in the middle, put it over his head, and went off with the pancake. Now that was not something I ever expected. So you can always find something. So make choices in your life and be creative. And I'll just tell you one other thing. I had this little girl, Kendra, and I was working with her. She was 6 years old, and I gave her the California test. Hut, hen, ham. And she was on a computer, and the words were this big, and she kept saying, Kendra, are you okay, are you okay? So she passed 12th grade in one day at age 6. But I had to teach her. So what do you do with her? Well, I have to tell you, I started stealing menus, borrowing them, or people gave me menus. And next time you look at a menu, look at all the odd words that are on there. There's some long words. Put the words on the ceiling. People came to observe, and they go, what is that child doing sitting on a beanbag looking at the ceiling? Learning. Well, I don't know how many of you watched the National Spelling Bee, Script Spelling Bee. Well, I measured her, and she went all the way, and number 14 out of 11 million children, because she was looking at those words. So you can always find a way to challenge, to learn, to do something different. We're all finding a way to love our trip. I hope we're warm enough tomorrow, but remember, it's not the weather, it's our attitude. And have a fabulous day, enjoy the rest of the trip. The next talk, Dave is the map expert. He's going to talk about the history of mapping, and it's awesome because Since I met Dave, I learned that once there were maps, he laughs at this, where south was north and north was south, so you've got a lot to learn. So thank you very much, great audience. If you want to do something with gumdrops, I can meet you in the back, because we'll see how well you listen. Thank you.